Welcome back to the reading vlogs. It is Monday afternoon. I'm having the house for myself, which is really rare because my partner took the dog to the office. So I had a really productive day. It's like 3 o'clock, I think, and I already I did my work. I went shopping, did a few things that we needed for the house, and then I did some housework, did some washing up, and yeah, I'm really, really productive today. I also started a book and DNF'd it in the last 10 minutes, which is why I thought I'd pick up the vlog. I read the first 20 pages of Killing Me Softly by Nikki French, and I'm sorry, no. This is supposed to be a thriller about a woman who is in like this stable, nice relationship. She has a good job, she has a good boyfriend, she has friends, and then she meets this stranger and begins an affair with him, and then everything goes wrong from there. That is what the blurb is saying. 20 pages in, we get a quick little look at her relationship that really tells you nothing about the relationship. Like, the beginning, like 10 pages are just like, she has friends, she has a boyfriend, she likes to drink alcohol, she's just really tired from her work. That is what we get in the first 10 pages. And then she goes to work, like, third day. We're going like really quick through the days. Or like second day, she goes to work and she sees the stranger and she just stands there in the street while the cars are honking at her. And she cannot look away. This is one of those books that want to tell you that women are just absolutely incredible idiots that just cannot look away from a man that isn't even that attractive. Like, he's attractive, but not that attractive. But he has this blue eyes, and he looked at her, and he's only wearing black, and so she's head over heels, even though they haven't communicated yet, and she's like, like everything stopped, and like this really dramatic moment that is so incredibly stupid. So yeah, we're doing F in it. I can't deal with this shit. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I just don't. I hate books like that. Like, I'm sorry, nobody is this stupid. Neither man nor woman will ever go and like walk across the street and just see somebody and just stop in their tracks and stare at each other and there's this instant connection, then you get beaten. No. Okay, I got distracted because my partner called that he's on his way home from the office. But yeah, we're not gonna talk about this anymore. I'm sorry. If you like books like that, I'm totally fine. I also read really silly romances, I have to be honest. I'm not a romance reader, except for really silly feel-good romances where there's no drama in there when it comes to the relationship and there are multiple partners. That are the romances I like. So I get reading silly romances, but I don't get this. I'm sorry. Also, I looked at the reviews and a few people were like, okay, like 60% of the book is just them meeting and starting an affair, which like, no. I'm not doing that. So yeah, I will have to pick up a different book tomorrow. But it means DNFing this book, I think, means that I got to my reading goal this year. So I'm fine with that. I also did quite a bit of knitting over the weekend. So let me show you my progress with that. Because I actually put the two fronts together. So now you can see the collar and the front of the sweater is now together. So this is what it's looking like in the end. It will get a little bit bigger washing, but I'm hoping it will fit. I'm a little bit afraid it might be too small, but we'll see. Yeah, so I'm now continuing with the front, and once it's the same length as the back, I can connect the back and the front, and then I can actually knit the rest of the body, which will be a little bit faster than like this one I did until now, because it's a little bit easier stockinette knitting, and the collar and the v-neck in the front were pretty complicated things I've never done before, and so it took me quite a while to get those, but now it's getting really like a lot easier. I think the beginning of the sleeves will be a little bit harder as well, but you know, I will get to that point when I will get to it. So yeah, that's kind of what I did today. I will now do a little bit more gaming, a little bit more knitting, just, get into the evening and just relax for the rest of the day. I also still have to cook. I did just a quick little salad as my lunch, and I do still have to cook my evening meal, which I hate cooking. I don't get people who like to cook. I'm not made for that, but I do have to cook because I need to make my food fresh because of my stomach issues. And so, yeah, I do still have to cook tonight, which I will probably use the air fryer, so I don't really have to cook. Which the air fryer is the best investment if you don't like to cook, because you can make really nice things in there. They taste amazing. And it's not really cooking because you just throw it in there and then, put it on, and then, you can eat it when it's done. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, that is kind of the rest what I will do today. Okay, let's do a quick little check-in. Sadly, I just realized before starting filming that I lost all of my footage from yesterday, which is a little bit annoying. Yeah, because you not heard the first half of my opinion of this book. So I'm gonna make this somewhat quick because I didn't particularly enjoy this book. This is The Racketeer by John Grisham. This is about a lawyer who is in prison because he made a bad business deal where he was involved in a real estate deal of a cabin in the woods where there was really bad things happening. He says he didn't know the things were happening in the cabin, but he went to jail for it, and ever since then he hates the FBI. And so he's in prison for that, and we pretty much start the story at like his halfway point through prison, and then a judge gets killed, and the FBI, he's like, you got no, guys, I can tell you who the killer is if we make a deal and you get me out of prison. And then comes this really convoluted story where he works together with like different criminals, and it's this really, really convoluted plan, and in the end it's like all good and done, and he pretty much tricks the FBI and letting him out of prison and being able to stay out of prison because of kind of a charade that he did to get out of prison, and then after getting out of prison deliver them the real guy who killed the judge and not the guy he originally told them did it, which was his friend originally. But the thing is, I just did not like our main character. I found him to be a really unlikable main character, which is unfortunate, I think. Also, the way this is all done, I mean, he is a lawyer and he wasn't able to defend himself in court effectively. It's really, really weird because the description of like why, like, he pretty much describes it at the beginning, like, yeah, and then I had the trial and they just put me into jail. There's nothing about his defense, what he did to defend himself, stuff like that in the beginning, which made me already not like the character from the beginning because it didn't feel like he was innocent. And even if he was innocent in the end, it didn't feel like it because the description was so weird. And then I also just, I don't know, I feel like he's maybe not supposed to be the most likable character. Like, he has this woe me moment because his wife divorces him, and I'm like, what do you expect if your wife thinks you're guilty? Why would she stand with you? You obviously did a crime, or at least she has the impression that you were part of a crime, and they're really heinous at that. Why would she stay with you? Obviously she's gonna divorce you. And then he's like, nobody comes to visit me, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, why would they? It's just this really weird thing. I think the only really redeemable factor for him is that he works with the other inmates to help them legally, because he says like there are like 3 different like lawyers in the prison and none want to help the other ones. And he's like, yeah, I help the inmates in prison for like the legal defense. I feel like that is the only redeemable like thing our main character had. Other than that, I just simply didn't like him. And that obviously made the story not work out for me, because for this story to work, you have to like the main character. So yeah, that is kind of it's just not great. I think, I don't know. It just wasn't the book for me. Which means I'm really on the fence with John Grisham, because the other books I liked more, but I also didn't love them. And now this one is a 2-star story, which I don't know. I still have, I think, 4 other John Grisham books to read. So we will get a little bit more of like a statistic out of there if I like them or not. But yeah, this one just, I don't know, it also felt differently. I felt like it didn't have the same good writing style that I felt the other ones had that I read. Which one felt a little bit too much like true crime, which fair enough. I think that is easy to happen with like crime novels. But I did like the writing style a little bit more than in this one, so I don't know what the difference is. I don't know, maybe this one is newer and he kind of changed or something. I don't really know. Let's look. I mean, it's from 2013, so it's not the newest book. It's also not the oldest book, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. Somehow this book just did not do it for me, which, happens. Can't love every book. But yeah, that means I finished that one, and now the next book I will read is Some Desperate Glory, which is the the Illumicrate book that I put out for the month to read, so that I finally can make some progress with that, I will start them on tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm feeling a little bit better tomorrow. I have a lot of a sore throat, and my voice is going in and out, which is also not the most practical thing in the world. So hopefully that will be a little bit better tomorrow. We'll see, but I'm now gonna look that this clip actually saves, because it's really annoying that my clip from yesterday didn't save my clips. So yeah, hopefully this saves, and then I will see you tomorrow, and we'll start to read the Illumicrate book, which we'll see if I will like that one. That is also really like 50-50. Okay, let's have a quick little chat. I think this week is the week of unlikable main characters. I started reading Some Desperate Glory by Emily Tash, and I'm not impressed, I have to say. Mainly with the story, with the main character. I think the story in itself isn't wrong. We have our main character, who's called Cure, and she's like this war breed human, and she is on a station because Earth fell in a war, and they're on a station, and her main goal is just to get Earth back against the Majo. And the Majo have like their supercomputer, who's the Wisdom, who kind of like controls everything. And Cure is such an unlikable main character, in my opinion. I really don't like her. She looks down on everyone. She feels like she's the best just because she doesn't use the recreational time. She's only doing the fight simulations because they are at war. But she has no balance in her life, nothing. She looks down on her brother for always sleeping. And there's this one scenario that only her brother has kind of finished on the station, and it's like a fighting scenario where they beat the Mayo and kill them. And she tries it and she tries it, and she can't really come like to the absolute end. And then she talks with her brother about it, and her brother is like, yeah, well, I did it with help from Avi. And Avi is like this really small human, and she's like, oh, he's not worth anything. And then her brother's like, yeah, but he's really, really intelligent, and he helped me get through it. And so she's like, oh, you're a cheat, so. But like, I mean, wouldn't you work together in a war? Like, that's so dumb. She's so dumb, I'm sorry, but she's so absolutely inept in anything other than fighting somebody. It's really annoying. I'm sorry, but it's really annoying. And then, you know, the story starts and she's like pretty sure that she gets like a fighting assignment, but then she's assigned to the nursery to make babies, pretty much. And she's okay with that, and her brother is also assigned to a mission which he doesn't want to do, so her brother flees, and then she and Avi also flee from the station, and I think they take a prisoner with them. And so they flee from the station, and they get to the settlement where her older sister is, who like already escaped from the station like a long time ago, because she was assaulted on the station by somebody, and so she fled. And her sister is like, yeah, here, please do this like program so you're not so radicalized in what your mission is, blah blah. And Kerr isn't okay with that, and she flees again. And she kind of wants to take her brother's mission to destroy the Wisdom and the Mayo. And everything goes wrong from there. And yeah, that is pretty much, like, I don't want to spoil the complete story. But the problem is I really don't like Kür. I think she's a really, really unlikable main character. I don't know, maybe other people like her, but I hate these self-righteous people who think they're always better than everyone else just because they excel in like one thing and they just cannot imagine any other thing being as equally good as their talent in this one thing. It's so annoying. It's really annoying. So yeah, I'm halfway through. I will finish the second half tomorrow. I will not give me another day just because I will not open this book. If I will not finish it tomorrow, I won't open it again because I really don't like the main character. So yeah, let's hope I can finish this tomorrow. And there's just, it's kind of what I expected. Not quite like this, but a little bit in this direction. I just didn't realize how unlikable the main character will be. So yeah, I'm a little bit annoyed at that, to be totally honest. It's just not good. It's not good. I don't know. I think one of the few things that is really, really true for me is that I need to like the main character of a book. I just will not read a book where I don't like the main character. It just doesn't work for me. Because why would I be interested in the story if I don't even like whom I'm reading about? If you get what I mean, you know, it's just really, really annoying, and it's just not great. So yeah, I need to read 150 pages roughly, I think, tomorrow, so I can finish that. And then I actually have only one book on my TBR for December, which is really nice, but that book is probably also a DNF, because it's a romance, a high school romance, and that are two things that I'm not the biggest fan of in that combination especially. So we'll see. I will try that on Saturday, so I will at least give you like my first impression of that. But yeah, I will not read anything else today because that was more than enough what I read today, and it wasn't enjoyable, so you know what. But I do want to finish it because it's a pretty book, and I hate that I don't like it, but I will still finish it. It's not the worst writing style, that is definitely not it. The main problem is the main character. And kind of all characters in the book. They all feel kind of weird, but she's the worst one of them. So yeah, we'll see tomorrow how I like it. It's sort of a Friday tomorrow, so the weekend is finally around. And yeah, we'll see how the ending is. I don't have high hopes, but you know, it could always turn out different. And yeah, I will also give you an update tomorrow on like my crocheting and my knitting, because I did crochet quite a bit this week. And I'm kind of at the knitting process where right now it's really boring, which makes me even slower, which is like, it's a little bit annoying, but then again, I don't have a time frame in which I need to finish the sweater, so I'm not that bothered by doing it a little bit slower this week. Okay, let's start today's video up here before we go down, and I will give you an update on the reading, which I finished some Glory. We'll talk about that in a minute. I did quite a bit of crocheting. I finished more coasters, some in black, and then some more in purple, and a few orange ones, and some more purple ones. So yeah, this is pretty much what I did this week. I did all of these coasters. Because to be honest, if I feel a little bit stressed or just need to be doing something with my hands. I do coasters. I just really enjoy it. And now let's look a little bit on an update for my sweater, which is gonna be kind of complicated. So let's see if I can show you. I'm actually now at the body part. I connected the front and the back and the front, and then we have the armholes here. But yeah, I can really badly show it to you because I need to make sure my stitches don't leave my needles. But yeah, I'm at the body portion now. You can see this is an armhole and this is the front and there's the other armhole. So I'm making progress, but I'm definitely slower now because, to be totally honest, doing just the rounds of knit stitches is a little bit more boring, but it's part of the process. So yeah, I'm gonna go through it, but it's just gonna take me some time. Yeah, so let's go down. I think we can do the reading update, and I'm gonna do that downstairs with you. So partner is just out with the dog, so I'm alone at home. So let's have a little chat. Is it too dark in here? Okay, I think this is fine. Some Desperate Glory. I didn't like it. I'm gonna give it 2 stars. I think the biggest problem is that I just never warmed up to the main character. Even though there's a little bit of an attempt at redemption in the later parts, like where we ended up yesterday, there's a little bit of like alternative reality / time travel stuff, where our main character gets to live an alternative version of what happened to Earth, pretty much. And in that version, she manages to save Earth, but then the wisdom sends her back into the reality where she came from, right before she's supposed to go into the nursery and birth babies, pretty much. So it kind of is a little weird with that, but yeah, because of that, and because of the things she learns in the alternative reality, she then goes back and tries to fight the bad guy again and save all of the women and children on Gaia, which is this Gaia. I don't know how it's pronounced, but the station they are on, because pretty much she finds out that it's still the same old bad guy, like that doesn't really change. But yeah, and then the book goes from there till the end, and I don't know. I don't think it's a bad book. I just think that the beginning and just the behavior of the main character just really soured the story for me. And so I didn't really enjoy the story because of the characters. So yeah, I mean, it is a really pretty book. Don't get me wrong. It looks pretty cool, you know. But yeah, sadly, it's not the book for me. Definitely not. I think when it comes to sci-fi and stuff like that, I'm just much more of a journey person. For example, like the Hyperion series or the Children of Time series. Like, there's so much more movement in those stories, I feel like. Even with like the Expanse series, which I desperately need to continue that one, but I need to buy the 4th book for that one. I feel like this is so much more stationary and going in circles, pretty much. Even though like the 3rd Children of Time, which is Children of Memories, also goes in circles, but like it's a different feel. But for this one, I just felt like I couldn't get into the character, and then the story didn't really get me because of that, because I just didn't really care for the characters. So I also didn't really care for what happened, and that is pretty much the main problem I had with the book. So yeah, it's not necessarily bad. If you like the main character, I think it's actually a pretty solid story. It's just that it's kind of ruined by me not enjoying the character. So yeah, that is the reading update. So at least I finished that, which means I only have 1 book left on my TBR for the month, which is The Coldest Touch, the romance fantasy book I talked about, which I will start tomorrow morning. We'll see if I will DNF it directly. We'll see how it starts and how it goes. Maybe I will like it. I'm not banking on it, but you know, it could always happen. Who knows? And yeah, other than that, we will do an early Christmas party with my mother-in-law tomorrow because she's visiting a different country whilst around Christmas, so we don't get to see her then. So we are meeting tomorrow to do some, well, normally we just play some card games and just, you know, sit together, eat together, enjoy our time together, and you know, so that is primarily what will be happening tomorrow. And so today, other than finishing the book, I will just do cleanup, bring the apartment into a good state, you know, not that it's looking bad otherwise, but like just, you know, making sure it's extra nice. And yeah, that's pretty much all I will be doing today. Not much else, to be honest. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with reading this week, even though I didn't like both of the books. I think it's always a good thing to realize, you know, that there's so many things that can impact your view of a book, and even though it might not be a bad book, that you might not enjoy it, and that a book you don't enjoy can still be a good book, you know? I think it's kind of important to get reminded of that and to get reminded of our own preferences when it comes to like characters and stuff like that. Obviously, you can't get a gist of the character from the description of the book, so you won't know until you start reading the book. But you know, I think it's good to get to know more of your habits and just what you like in reading. I think the next time around I would just DNF some Desperate Glory or a book like that, because it just takes so much not like longer time-wise, but it feels so much longer to read the book because of, you know, not enjoying the company of the characters. But yeah, that is kind of where I'm at right now. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow morning with either a promising update or DNF. So we are sitting upstairs again. I didn't get around to read anything today, and my partner has just left to get my mother-in-law so she can have a little drink, and she doesn't have to drive, obviously, because you shouldn't do that. But yeah, so she doesn't have to leave her car here and drive back with like public transport. He's gonna get her. So I'm gonna use the time to edit this video now, which is why I also wanted to end the vlog. I didn't read anything, so I don't have a reading update. The only kind of update I have is a knitting update, because I did focus on knitting this morning for the little bit of time that I had between, like, you know, cleaning, doing a workout, getting up. It was just a busy morning, you know. I did a little bit of knitting. If you can see, this is pretty much the progress I did since I talked to you last. So this is the armhole. As you can see, I can't really hold it the other way around because I need to make sure my needles are like secure, and I don't know where my needle covers are. As always, I tend to lose those things. But yeah, this is pretty much the progress that I did from here till here, which takes me quite some time. I mean, it is really easy knitting, it's just time consuming. But I mean, you can see it's pretty much a sweater upside down. But yeah, I will now take the time, edit this vlog while my partner gets my mother-in-law, and then we just spent a really, really nice evening, well, afternoon/evening. And yeah, they also bring me food, like they drive to a restaurant which is was near to where we lived before, this apartment. I never filmed in this apartment, I started filming here, but I was so sad when we moved from there that we moved too far away from the restaurant. So now every time my mother-in-law comes around, she gets us the Vietnamese food from that restaurant, and it's the best food by far. It's like a completely vegetarian, alcohol-free restaurant because the owner is a Buddhist, and yeah, it's the best food around. I really love their food, so I'm really happy that she brings the food with her. So yeah, thank you for watching this week's vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Even though we had 2 books with not so great main characters, but you know, it happens. And yeah, hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!